In one of those warm summer nights, the grandson sat next to his grandfather, eager to hear a new story about Juha. The grandfather looked at his grandson, smiled, and said, "All right, today I will tell you a long story about Juha, from which you will learn a lot about the wisdom of this humorous man." The grandfather began to narrate. Once upon a time, Juha decided to go on a long journey to a distant city he had never visited before. He had heard a lot about this city, its beauty, and its kind people. So, he prepared himself, mounted his donkey, and set off on his journey. Along the way, Juha passed through many villages and valleys, stopping every now and then to rest and ask for directions. Each time he asked the villagers for the way to the city, they would give him different instructions, but Juha never got upset or lost his patience. He followed their directions calmly. After days of traveling, Juha finally reached the city. It was a large city with various markets and loving people. Juha decided to wander around the city and discover what it had to offer. While exploring, he found himself in front of a grand and luxurious palace. This palace belonged to the ruler, who was known for his wisdom and justice. Juha felt curious, so he approached the palace gate and asked the guard, "Can I enter the palace? I would like to meet the ruler." The guard laughed and said, "And who are you to meet the ruler? Are you an envoy or an ambassador?" Juha replied with his usual smile, "I am Juha, and I have much to offer the ruler." The guard decided to test Juha, so he said, "All right, I'll let you in, but on one condition. You have to answer 3 difficult questions, and if you answer them all correctly, I will allow you to meet the ruler." Juha confidently agreed, and the guard began to ask. The first question was, what is something that a person cannot see, yet it affects their life every day? Juha thought for a moment, then said, "It is air. We cannot see it, but it is always around us, and without it we cannot live." The guard nodded and said, "Correct answer." Now the second question, what is something that the more you have of it, the less you feel you have? Juha smiled and said, "It is knowledge. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know, and the more you seek it." The guard was impressed with Juha's answer, but he wanted to challenge him with one last difficult question. And the third question, what is something that the more you give away, the more it increases and multiplies? Juha thought for a moment and then confidently said, "It is love and charity. The more you give of them, the more they grow in your heart and spread among people." The guard was amazed by Juha's intelligence and wisdom, so he allowed him to enter the palace. Inside the palace, Juha met the ruler. They talked for a long time about life and wisdom, and the ruler was impressed with Juha's thinking. He asked Juha to stay in the city and become one of his advisors.